Call this meeting to order. Roll call.
McKnight.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Roa.
Here.
Vogel.
Here.
Kinder.
Here. Gotcha. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment on agenda items?
Yes. We have Miss Christine Parker.
I'm going to stand here. I thought I only had 3 minutes. Now I have 5. I can go a little slower. So first, thank you for letting Kelly and I speak tonight. We really appreciate that. On November 20th, Highland Guest House was denied a variance by the zoning board to partner with Davenport Cidery and Winery to offer an off-site winery experience at our guest house. Our property is not zoned residential but M1, and Henry Street, which we're on the corner of, where bars are permitted, is M2, which is permitted by request and a variance. After we were denied, the zoning board suggested that we come see you, so here we are. Both Kelly and I are co-owners of Highland and Davenport, respectively. Our goal is to offer a unique setting featuring their wonderful locally made beverages produced just a few miles away. After checking in, many of our guests are coming in off the road after traveling or flights, and many of them ask if there's a small bar where they can enjoy an adult beverage. And most of our guests, they are visitors of the college, alumni, parents, and guests of the college. We also host travelers from across the country and around the world. There is a shortage of almost 200 rooms in the Meadville area, why we are so popular as well, being close to Interstate 79. We are proud of the way we have restored this beautiful home. We are proud of our 5-star rating on all booking sites, and we're proud of the care we put into running our business. In 2024, the Historical Society gave us the Preservation Award for restoring this home. We believe it would be a special experience to offer a glass of wine or cider in this historic home, which was built in 1855. And it was the residence of a 6-term Congressman, Arthur Bates. And he was actually visited here by 2 U.S. presidents, President Taft, who was actually Arthur's best friend, and President McKinley, who went to Allegheny. In fact, Arthur was the one that gave his eulogy after President McKinley was assassinated. So there's a lot of history in this house, which we're still finding out more and more. Getting back to if the guest does get a beverage, we have 1,200 square feet downstairs, which is all common area. We also have a 53-foot front porch, and we also have a back deck. We also would welcome neighbors, visitors to Meadville, and residents to enjoy the house and learn the history of this remarkable property. We are not looking to create a college hangout. We are looking to create quite the opposite. Our vision is to create a vintage, historically focused off-site winery that celebrates Meadville's history and Meadville's only winery. And we also meet all the guidelines from the LCB, and they are very strict. Our proposed hours would be 4 p.m. to 8:30 or 9. We will always be respectful of our neighborhood, and first and foremost, we are a guest house, and we always have quiet hours that do start at 9 p.m. This partnership would also help us grow. We have invested more than $200,000 into restoring this home. Excuse me. The additional revenue would help us address critical needs, which right now are plumbing and electrical updates. I do have a letter from Senator Brooks that I would like to leave for you to see, and she supports our partnership and would like to see our guest house evolve and grow like much of Meadville has. She also notes that we are the only overnight lodging currently in Meadville, and she says this variance makes sense. Victoria Dixon from the Crawford County Visitors Bureau also expresses her support, emphasizing that tourism is the key economic driver and is the second largest industry in the Commonwealth. and that success does come when partners work together. She sees this as a wonderful opportunity for locals to also enjoy this home. In closing, I truly believe this would be a wonderful addition for both Highland and for Davenport as we continue striving to grow our business here in Meadville. Please consider granting this variance to help make this vision a reality for us. And thank you very much for your time. I'm going to give you the letters. There's 2 copies of each.
Perfect.
And then we also had our neighbor who lives right across from us is very in favor of it.
Okay.
Just a couple.
Okay, no, that's great. I'll make sure that council gets those to see. Thank you very much. And we also have Kelly Jameson? Is it Jameson? Okay.
Yes.
She's from Davenport Winery.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I'm not going to take too much of your time. It's very nice to be here and see all of your faces. Myself and my husband are the owners of Davenport Cidery and Winery. We are a 6-acre apple and pear orchard, and we make hard cider. We have yet to make a good perry from our pears, and we are also a winery. Chris and I would love to be able to sell our wine through bed and breakfast, to bring culture to the bed and breakfast, and also to maybe have people come and visit Davenport once they try any of the ciders and wines at the bed and breakfast. I've had several family members stay at the bed and breakfast, and I've also been there several times, and it is just an absolutely beautiful place, and it would be very charming to sit on her front porch and have a glass of wine, especially after a day of travel. I mostly want to point out that I think it would be very nice for Meadville to have this opportunity to understand that there's a wonderful place close by that you can come and relax outside and visit the orchards, see how the apples grow, and also just get away from city. Being on a farm, I think it's absolutely relaxing and charming. There's more to it than that, but as a customer, coming there is very, very, very relaxing. And just to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city, I think is very important for people. And also to see agriculture, and Pennsylvania is very, very much an agricultural state. And for people who don't know anything about how things grow, it would be lovely for them to come and see how things grow. And of course, we would like to grow our business. So in partnering with Chris at Highland, that would be a wonderful outlet for us both. And again, thank you for your time, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. That is all for public comment.
Notice of executive session meetings?
None.
Approval of minutes, December 2nd, 2025, regular meeting. Have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Roa,
Aye.
Vogel,
Aye.
Kinder.
Aye. Approval of minutes, December 9th, 2025, study session. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Discussion?
Thank
Roll
you
call.
for having that study
Sorry.
session for us April, and talking through the budget. Sorry.
Yes, it was amazing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well,
It's amazing.
we put you on the spot. You did a wonderful job.
You did great.
I appreciate you. Roll call.
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Roa,
Aye.
Vogel,
Aye.
Enter.
Aye. Communications.
None.
Managers report?
The only thing that I have tonight is that, as council is aware, we always want to further training for our staff, specifically at the fire department. So thanks to the graciousness of Allegheny College, they gave the fire department $40,000 to send folks to paramedic classes. So we will have our first person going beginning in January, utilizing a portion of those funds.
How many people does that cover?
Probably 2.
You say two.
But that's And is that for folks who are on staff now?
Correct,
Okay.
yes. Hopefully in the future, we'll have some more partnerships where we'll be able to send more of our staff to paramedic certification classes, and then also anybody else interested in doing that.
Great.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's the update on the solar panels? Which is,
I sent an email to EIS last week, waiting on a response from them still about the status of that. I haven't heard that they're not going to complete by the end of the month as promised, but waiting.
And because it's been a lot of
Oh, they-
weather and
that's-
cold. Yeah.
Probable.
I know the end of the month with, well, it's supposed to be 50 degrees, right? Maybe.
They will work
They'll do
on
it on
Thursday.
Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, really.
It's raining.
There had been, we're talking the DEP, the solar installation on the roof of DEP. There had been flags up there that I saw. One day when it was particularly windy, I noticed them. Does that mean that they were
Yes.
doing construction or staging or something?
Correct, it would have been part of the construction process.
Okay.
So it should be moving and nearing completion, but again, I'm just waiting on an update from E EIS.
I should have followed up with you about this earlier, but at the last EAC meeting, Ian Carbone offered to do whatever might be helpful in terms of like capturing the story, reporting on progress, while he's on sabbatical as an EAC member, so.
Okay.
If that is helpful.
Yes.
I'm telling you now, because I forgot.
All right. Old business, third and final reading, quality of life ticketing. Can I have a motion to approve third and final reading?
Motion?
I'll second.
Discussion.
The only update since first and second reading was to reflect council's request to make it apparent that there'll be a warning issued prior to any kind of ticket.
Is that 1725.06?
Recollection is that it's in that general area.
Okay.
One second.
After issuance of a reasonable warning.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. Thank you very much.
That's the one.
That's the one. All right.
Fantastic.
Just a comment on one of the violations about signs being in rights of way. If I recall correctly, I have a copy at home. The ACLU sent us an admonishment a few years ago about free speech issues and political signage. So you can probably expect some pushback. If you put a political sign in the right of way, that would be a violation of this ordinance. But the ACLU, a few years ago, there was a similar ordinance, this is before you were here, Tim.
I think we got that letter,
Yeah.
I remember, in response to like door hangers, like leaving things at
Right,
people's door.
Right.
The ordinance has been targeted for things like coupons, you know, like to keep junk off of doors, but we got that.
Didn't we already have something that says we're not putting anything in rights of way anyway?
Yeah.
There is, yes.
We already have an ordinance on that,
Yeah.
and if that's the case, this is just, right, like, would renters be able to say that's a violation if they wanna put
Right, I
their
think-
own signs in yards that they're renting and leasing? I mean, this is, now that you're saying that, Jim,
Yeah.
if we had that's just, 'cause that's kinda where my mind goes.
Well,
Is
they
the
did come
connection
up-
that
they
their
did
yard is a
come up,
right of way?
No, he said the
Between the
free
sidewalk and
speech,
the curb.
the, not being able to put a sign would be against free speech. Is that not what you just said?
I think Peter,
And if you couldn't do, right, like that's, there's just a lot that we could talk about in that. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. So we have the ability to regulate the time, manner, and place of speech. And we do that through, in this particular instance of signs.
Yeah.
We're saying, we don't care who you are, or what you're saying, or what your message is. Nobody is going to put the message within that right-of-way area.
Sure.
And that is not a violation of any free speech concerns for political signs or others. If there's a issue with temporary signs for this apartment for rent or whatever, then I think that's something we can look at comprehensively down in the future. But I'm not concerned about a rule of general application
Okay.
for all speech. That does not violate the First Amendment.
okay.
I think we didn't update the ordinance after that letter. It was just a matter of enforcement.
That's correct,
So,
yeah.
Right.
I imagine it would be the
Right.
same thing where the ordinance passes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just, but this also reflects what is already true in the city code outside of this. This just gives the ticketing
Correct.
option for
Yes.
enforcement. So it's consistent across the.
Right. Any other questions, concerns? Roll call.
An ordinance creating Article 1725 of Title V of the Municipal Code of the City of Meadville, Pennsylvania, to be entitled Quality of Life Ticketing Program, providing for purpose and intent, definitions, and the establishment of certain quality of life violations, providing for enforcement for violations of this ordinance by code enforcement officers, establishing fines and penalties, and providing for a repealer, severability, and effective date. McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Roa,
Aye.
Vogel,
Aye.
Kinder.
Aye. All right, new business, discussion, Highland B and B. Thank you guys for coming and discussing. You are one of two overnight stay
Okay.
establishments. There are two, the Carriage House being the second one.
I thought that.
Yeah. So that is here. Both, as Autumn said, both bed and breakfasts are in MU1s, right? Like, so this is something that maybe, as we're looking at them, you're bringing up something and maybe we could discuss with the owner, or, you know what I mean, like, as we're looking into this. Does anybody have any?
Was the issue that this is not permitted in MU1, or is it a question of how you define bed and breakfast? In other
I
words,
think it was more the form or,
Yeah.
right?
so we have the ordinance, we can't have spot zoning, I mean, you can't do
Right.
that. But would it be feasible to alter the definition of a bed and breakfast to include the possible use of, or sale of alcoholic beverages as long as they have a valid license?
I think, I would defer to Peter, who could probably cite you chapter and verse of your zoning code off the top of his head. But I'll make a general statement and then rely on his memory. But I think we may be able to take a look of the sale of alcoholic, properly licensed sale of alcoholic beverages as an accessory use at the Airbnb. Might be an easier way to address that.
B&B. I don't think we want them at
Sorry,
Airbnbs
B&B.
all across town.
B&B.
Be insane.
Airbnb.
Let the record
permitted
reflect.
in the city.
I was
know.
wrong.
That's right, that was just a-
That's a first. Year's almost over. I'm good till next
We
year.
get a discount?
But thank you for catching it.
Um,
Is that, Peter, does that sound about right?
Accessory.
Be accessory
What
use?
accessory use.
Let's say there are complications in zoning, so I believe the variance that they requested was to operate a tavern and a bar simultaneous to the operations of the bed and breakfast or accessory to that. I think you can amend it so that all similarly situated bed and breakfasts would be able to operate what is essentially what they're doing, no matter where it is in the city. So you'd have to be precise that it's not just for their business themselves, but for any future business bed and breakfast like that as well. Rereading the ordinance here, just let you know that over time, the definition of bed and breakfast has become somewhat expansive, whereas originally it was an accessory use to the owner occupancy of a single-family dwelling. And then there was an amendment to allow the events and catering for parties of up to 40 people. Add on this, so what is an accessory and what is a principal use starts to get muddied.
Is it, the zoning, planning commission is already considering, the definition of a bed and breakfast has been on the agenda.
It's been one of those things on my list of many things to eventually come up for review.
But just to say it's not out, right, it could be considered as part, yeah. I think just to, so what we're talking about, maybe, I don't know, maybe you already know this, but, so I think that you requested a variance that would just be for your specific business and your specific property, that was denied.
Right.
So to come to council, now the power that we have is to change our zoning ordinance, which is the whole law that like governs Meadville. And we can't just do that piece by piece. That's what like is the spot zoning that's been referenced, is like we can't just say like, okay, this, this parcel gets this laws and this one gets this laws. It's gotta be kind of zone by zone. And so that's why Jim posed the question earlier too of, right, we could consider, changing the zones, like what type of zone that your business is in, or consider what is defined and allowable for the type of business you operate. So anyway, that's what we're exploring right now,
Thank you for.
in a way that seems like we're trying to support you.
Right, I appreciate
A
that.
point of clarification, and again, I'm dealing with old information. I seem to recall from my years as a trustee at Coyote Lake Park that hotels had what they call a hospitality liquor license, which is different than a liquor license you find downtown. Is that what you're going for, or are you strictly talking about?
It's with the LCB, Kelly, she's allowed to have up to an off-site winery.
Okay.
So that's what
Okay, that's-
we
that's-
were.
I think hospitality is like 12 or more rooms. It's like you have to have a certain number of rooms or something before that kicks in.
Yeah, it's a satellite, I believe it's a satellite license.
That's tied to Davenport's
Correct,
license.
it's Davenport's
That would
license, yeah.
operate.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a limited winery license, which is a different type of licensure through the PLCB than the hotel license, which is different than a pub license.
Right.
Do you have a timeline? Like, right, so we're kind of considering some changes to the
Right.
zoning ordinance and like, is that okay that, right, we kind of consider this as we make those other changes?
Right now, what we do is, and he spoke to it, we're allowed to have up to 40 people that come in, and they actually they're allowed to bring in their own beer, their own liquor, whatever. That is allowed, and then they bring in the caterers. With that said, we are always there, and we actually sort of provide the bartender, because we don't want it to get out of hand, because, we are a guest house mostly. So this way, we wouldn't have people bringing in their liquor or anything. We would strictly be selling Davenports. I mean, we're not gonna have, gin or other things. At this time, we're looking just to add her wine and the ciders, and of course the slushies. So that's what we're looking, just, this house has so much to offer, and so many people that live downtown, I don't think realize that when we bought it, we didn't realize the beautiful history of it. So we really just want to share it and also make some money with it. We are business people. The house has a lot of needs, and to expand Kelly's as well, or for people that come out of town, a lot of them ask us, oh, what can we do in this area? Where can we go? And lots of times we'll send them to Franklin or somewhere, but more and more, Meadville's really, it's really changing, and I think for the better, and she's only a few miles away, so.
What possibilities do you see? I'm just curious, like Tim or Peter, or anything burning yet?
Actually, if I may ask a question first, ma'am. Can you clarify in the materials that you had presented to the zoning hearing board and here, whether that you're proposing to serve only to guests or whether general public drop-ins?
No, we wanted it to be, to the zoning it was to, we wanted, if somebody's visiting the college and not staying with, we wanted them to be able to come too. Like if a professor, wants to bring someone to our place, so we did want it open to the public.
Open to the
But
public?
again, we have restricted, we could, it says, I think in the LCD, we could be open late, that's not what we're looking for.
So that is like the expectations of a business plan, but would you expect that to be the clientele, but theoretically you wouldn't be able to deny any particular other class of people who wanted to come in?
No.
Okay.
But we would have guidelines, we're not gonna put up with, anything unruly.
So is there, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't the establishments here, the bars here, aren't they allowed, I feel like we had this discussion to have pop-ups, like 52 a year pop-ups at different locations. We discussed that when Allegheny was looking to get their liquor license, right? To have a bar come in, and I think that each one got like so many a year, in the meantime, is what I'm thinking. Am I wrong, or it was like 52 a year that a bar could go and be a pop-up somewhere else, as long as they sold their liquor and that type of thing? I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that's what we discussed.
I don't know, I don't remember the exact number, but I do remember when Allegheny was trying to apply for a liquor license from outside of Meadville to come into the city. We were exploring different possibilities that might address the things they wanted, and one
was those pop-ups.
we learned
and
of
they
that.
were- Yeah.
I don't. So so back to the timeline question, right? Like depending on what the timeline looks like, that
We
might be a legal way of
Right.
testing
Oh,
the
I see, in the
waters,
meantime.
that's already within your control.
Right.
To see how it goes.
Sure.
With
If that's the
license you already
case,
have.
the
But Jim's not a
Davenport could
lawyer.
come, I am not a lawyer, but the Davenport could come and be a pop-up there.
Okay.
So it's
so
a-
many times a year.
It's a
Like a
application to the PLCB at each time you're going to do an event, and it's contingent upon what Davenport's license looks like.
Well, they do it anyway, right? Like when you go to other places, you're a pop-up, right, at other places too, correct?
Yeah, so what you're all sort of talking about right now is true. Our limited winery license, we are permitted to do like a pop-up. So if we're gonna go to a wine festival, et cetera, the Glitz and Glam event, then we pay $30 a day for up to 100 days. And you can only do so many consecutively, and I can't remember exactly how many it is. But for example, like if you're gonna go to the farm show, it's 10 days, you would have to pay $300 to be there for all 10 days. And then, take all of your products and set up a little booth and everything like that. So it's definitely something we could do, but I have done many of them, and it has to be worth it.
Right, well, I was just thinking, right, in the meantime, as this, right, if your timeline was quicker
Right.
than this process, that we could, right, there was something to kind of work with
Sure.
in the meantime, is
Okay.
all. Not that that's the solution, that's
Right.
just
Right.
an interim.
Right.
So, on behalf of code enforcement and myself upstairs, say that as with everything, there can be things more complicated because our application of zoning cannot be so particular to meet only one person's specific business plan. As a category, it exists. We determined that the type of use there is akin to a tavern and bar, and that's not tied to whatever specific kind of liquor license. If you wanted to open up that definition and go down the list of every type of liquor license and individually assign what liquor licenses of what kinds of businesses are permitted within what uses. That's also a thing. I just say that whatever is considered, it should be in the record that we're doing this because it is in the public good to allow this rather than a single favorable proposition, and that either prohibiting or allowing something is not just arbitrary and capricious and applicable. There's some discussions that we have upstairs about how these things are getting expansive when we have accessory use upon accessory use upon principal use upon principal use in the same structure, and where the line is. So, for instance, were I to, where I am, have, I'm a home brewer. I'm not good at it, but in the lineage of single-family dwelling is allowed to have a home occupation or maybe a home business. A bed and breakfast is supposed to be accessory to a resident-occupied single-family dwelling. As accessory to that, you have a tavern and a bar or an open liquor thing for other than transients. Then it goes back, well then is a tavern and a bar then acceptably accessory to a single-family home in the MU1 district? So you can see we have to dwell in the space of it.
Would this be allowed in MU2?
Yes.
So, it is a weirdly shaped MU1 district, right?
I don't deny it.
Right, so this is where the Highland House sits. It's like in this strange little strip that has these weird lines that I'm not totally sure, they're not separating different zones.
Yeah. Previously, that was an R1 residence district,
Mhm.
and it was at the time of application, and that was changed to MU1
Mhm.
with the adoption of the new map.
Mhm.
And then Henry Street is M2, which we're on the corner of.
So, right, and similarly, right, there is one other,
Right.
bed and breakfast in town that also exists on an
Just on
MU1,
the
just
other
on
side, yeah.
just on the cusp, right? So there could be a world where we,
Like if
is that spot zoning?
No.
If you just
Change
take
the actual zone
Correct.
lines?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's,
And
you're good.
It's
do
permitted.
it across the,
Yeah.
So long as you do it to the area of properties and not to the single property.
So that's
And
that could be another way
another way that we could.
That seems.
So why don't you give us an opportunity to look at this a little deeper, and I'm looking here into the code and taking notes, is what I'm doing in my system. And Peter and I can have a conversation about maybe the best way to approach this.
Yeah.
There's more than one way to skin this cat, and let's find the way that is the least obstructive to the remainder of the city. Does that?
Yeah, I mean, we're in consensus for staff to work on
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
and look at the different options.
yes.
What do you think the timeline would be? So they'd kind of be like, oh,
You and I will be gone.
I'm sure, we're leaving a
I don't have
legacy
to
here.
listen to
We
you
wanna
any
have-
longer.
I would be, well, the planning commission, I don't know, has talked about I don't know, my hope, I'm imposing this, but my hope would be that we look at zoning changes in as omnibus changes and not one at a time. So I don't know when we would schedule that, I know Peter's talked about having some sort of scheduled review. So I don't know if this could be worked, I think that's where I was trying to get at your timeline, is because if this could just be added into changes we're already gonna make to the zoning ordinance, that doesn't add more cost or anything to the city, right, it just kind of gets folded into a process we're looking at.
And we
I don't know what
would,
that is though.
we would be distinguishing this set of circumstances from the set of circumstances involving Allegheny's request, so that there's no confusion that we're giving preferential treatment to any party.
Allegheny,
No, we turned down.
Yeah, we turned them down, they got
Got
to
it. How'd they get it?
Because it was an
Because it was
outside
unavailable.
license coming
Yeah.
in.
we didn't approve the license
more
coming
coming
in,
in.
but there was one in
Sure.
that they could get, that's,
Yeah.
So you think it's dependent on the planning committee or?
I don't think it has to be, that would be my preference in terms of
I would want to
procedure.
know if you guys
Yeah.
think, is that possible how long you think it would take to?
No matter what, even if we, presented something here without the planning commission's preparation of it, we'd still have to kick it back to them for their recommendations and give them at least 30 days to do so. So,
So like 45 to 40 days? I would just want to know. What do you think?
It is a longer process than that. So what we would be taking a look at is, in a perfect world, if we were able to get a legislative solution together and present it to you at the next meeting, you would then give a general thumbs up, thumbs down. We would kick it out to the planning commission. Planning commission would have 30 days in which to review and make recommendations. It would then come back and then we'd start the ordinance process for first reading, second reading, hearings, zoning hearings. I mean,
You're probably looking at March, beginning of April.
it's a
For
process.
that process, if it's presented January 6th.
Okay.
And then you have, you've got your zoning map that needs to be redrawn. I don't know what process you used to do that here, but
This is a Sharpie.
I have other municipalities where we've passed resolutions saying that if we're making zoning changes that require the redrafting of maps at the behest of a individual property owner, that the property owner pay for the map change, so that the rest of the taxpayers are not paying for all those changes, which is ultimately to benefit one entity. I think that there's some conversations to be had.
Yeah.
and I think we'd also have to individually mail and post the property,
Well, there's still the notice costs,
There's the
absolutely, there's the cost for the public hearings, the cost for the advertisements. I mean, it's not a cheap endeavor, nor a quick one.
Yeah. I've advised before that the individual posting of neighboring properties in that notice can be waived if you do a comprehensive map change, which if you accumulate enough changes across the municipality itself that apply to enough properties that individual notice is impractical, that can be comprehensive map change. And boy howdy, do I have some just suggestions. So,
Make them quick so we can get March.
well, you've already been presented with a historic district overlay.
Yeah.
I think way back when, there's maybe like just changes and noodling with districts everywhere. There's a map in my head that I threw out when I first drafted it in 2023 that I can revive if you want. So it's up to you. There's the outstanding pet ordinance.
so what we're looking at is some time.
Sure.
Right, for the process to go through. I just want you guys to be clear on that
Right.
and have some other options,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
As we work to look at this and, okay? So it's not an immediate thing,
Right.
but we're gonna be discussing and working on it to the
Well, I
best as we
appreciate that.
can. Did you have something to say?
I was gonna say, the other thing to talk about is if we're talking about switching the district to an MU2, so that there could be a tavern bar, which is allowed as a special exception, we have to take a look at whether we're gonna allow two principal permitted uses on one site.
In which case, how do
You-
you
you can't-
determine which one becomes principal?
This isn't,
Sure.
I don't want to say it's an odd request, but I'll say it's a unique request that needs,
Co-locate.
yeah, I mean, there's some brain time that needs to be thought on
Sure,
as to how
sure.
best to do this, if it's gonna be able to be pulled off.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of get an idea of
Yes,
what we're doing
yes.
and a little bit of a timeline.
Right.
Uh,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm really happy you guys have forged this partnership though, it's kind of cool.
Oh, Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
So, real quick, so Tim, you can't have it be an accessory use in an MU2, like going back to what you were saying, could you?
Well, I suggested that, but Peter had some, he knows the ordinance off the top of his head more than I do. I'm just throwing out general options to
Okay.
think about. We'd have to get into the specifics.
Yeah,
Okay.
the dominance of one use over another is
Yeah.
is fuzzy. And when you have the stacking of these different uses, for instance, if sales in one, like how do you measure what is accessory if sales in one place outpace the other, or if this is suddenly becoming something like an inn, where those uses are, and it crosses definitions into something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we also get a copy of the minutes from the zoning hearing board?
We've requested a transcript from the court, the reporter.
I have a,
Oh, yeah. Because
because it's a hearing?
Because
It
it's
is,
a,
yes.
it's a hearing. Okay.
Okay.
All right, if we are, I'm gonna move us along to, ordinance, first and final reading, 2026 budget. Can I have a motion to approve first and final reading?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
There are no changes to the budget as originally presented. I do think April wants to add some comments.
So at our study session, we spoke a lot of things that were out of our control, of things that costs are going up, things like that. One of the things that I do feel that the finance department needs a little recognition. When we moved to this building, there were 12 employees in the finance department. We're down to 4. And I will call them my girls. The girls do an absolute phenomenal job. If there is something that needs to be done, it is done by the end of the day, on our desk, in our email box. Numbers are given. We have all kind of sat down and put our heads together on what we can do. Some of the things that we needed were updated credit card processing. You know, being able to get online and purchase garbage tags easier than going through PayPal. We fixed that. New credit card machine out front that actually prints a credit card receipt. We took a look at, we have cell phone plans. You know, a lot of cell phones throughout the city, data processors in police cruisers and fire trucks in the public works. We reviewed our contract. We've got that down about $200 to $300 a month. We took a look at our telephones throughout all of the city buildings. They were all placed in at the same time. They're all dying a slow death at the same time. The previous supplier was kind of like, go on Amazon and purchase a new one. And if you've ever looked for a Polycom phone on Amazon, there are hundreds. We actually found someone that provides phone service, and we were able to save about $600 a month. So that'll be starting next month. The county implemented taking tax payments online. So we were able to sign up. We were able to put a link on our website. We do not have to incur that fee, but we had to set up our side of it to be able to get in and get our reports and things like that. Again, the treasurer's office had that done and working with no problem. Again, county started a new billing system too at the beginning of the year. That was different for us. We moved forward with that. One of the things that we've all agreed upon is our ERP system, our accounting system, is very dated. It's not performing functions that we need it to do. Something that's coming up is we're getting a lot of check fraud because we do paper checks. We mail our paper checks. But to be able to do an ACH payment, we need a system that can handle that. The girls and I sat down, we looked, we've researched, we found one, and it's going to cost about $10,000 less a year. So I just need to also recognize what we do day to day. That, you know, these girls they're here before we open, they're here when everybody goes home. That we are doing our due diligence at our own space. So, just wanted to share that.
Okay, you shared their names, so.
So it is Barb Opachany,
Yeah.
Tracy Wilcox, and Jennifer Bruno.
And yourself. Thank you.
Just to be honest, we're very clear how much work you guys do every day. I don't think that's a question. And again, I'm not sure that you don't sleep here, so. But, yeah, thank you for recognizing your people and all the people that are doing good work. I appreciate that.
I feel like this Department of Women needs to be like stood up and like all these departments of men can like learn how to budget and like make some lists for you guys. I think there's some lessons to be learned across the board here.
Yeah.
Code enforcement would appreciate a little bit more, Josh, so they can budget.
Does anybody have any questions for the budget?
No.
Okay.
That was all stuff that leading up to the preparation of the budget, like.
Yeah, these were all
fed into
things
some
that we
things
had worked on throughout the year. Just, hey, we haven't looked at this, let's take a look at that, let's rip it apart, let's see if we can save anything there.
I made it a joke, but like truly, I think like that, what you're talking about is this like continuous improvement of like, there's opportunity to save and improve and streamline, right? Like, and we can be smarter about how our departments are working, and I think, I like hope that we can, spread that around, but that's great, thank you.
I also think that it goes back to the point, you started with all of the things that we can't control, but the things that we can control, we have consistently managed well and saved money on. And again, that's a testament to looking at every single thing and the management of you guys. So, yeah, you guys are doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Roll call.
An ordinance of the City of Meadville, Crawford County, Pennsylvania, adopting and establishing a budget for all funds of the City of Meadville for the year 2026, including the general fund, debit and capital funds, liquid fuels program fund, stormwater management program fund, parking fund, real estate management funds, and special revenue funds, appropriating specific sums estimated to be required for the specific purposes of the various programs and funds of the City of Meadville for 2026, and establishing authorized maximum personnel complements for certain departments of the City of Meadville for 2026. McKnight. Myers.
Aye.
Roa.
Aye.
Vogel.
Aye.
Kinder.
Aye. Resolution levying taxes for 2026. Can I have a motion?
Motion?
I'll second.
Discussion.
This is the annual resolution to levy taxes. This is the same as you were presented last year, with the same tax allocation as last year, no tax increase.
The same allocation as last year
So if council recalls last year, we had made one adjustment to the allocation. So the allocation goes to general revenue, debt retirement, capital improvements, recreation and parks, and shade trees.
Right.
Last year, shade trees is capped at, 0.1 mils of taxes can be allocated. So it was over that in previous allocation years. We moved that to start creating a capital improvements and allocating taxes to a capital improvement fund directly. So we did that last year, that remains consistent this year.
And last year was the first time that we did that, yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. I couldn't find it
Yes.
in my email, and I was like, wow, it's good we're putting money aside for capital improvements.
Yes, previously,
Pales in comparison to
in
debt.
decades worth of budgets, there has not been taxes specifically allocated to capital improvements. Historically, the city had relied on capital borrowing every 3 years to perform those capital improvements. We've moved away from doing that because debt is a huge issue. Debt incurred, 10, 15 years ago, not by this council, not by this staff, has become an issue. And so we've moved away from that practice and now allocating direct millage to capital improvements.
You said 1.5 mil.
0.15 mils.
0.15.
It's
mil.
not a
I was
lot.
like,
We're working on it.
1.5 mil, wait a minute.
We're working on it.
That'd be great. That'd be great. I was gonna throw out those numbers, but you're right. Okay. Does anybody have any?
I think I had one minor question.
Sure.
I think it had to do with discounts. We have convenience fees we assess if people use credit cards, is that correct? Okay. Is there any way of negotiating with the credit card providers to reduce that fee?
We tried whenever we moved to this provider, so that's whenever, you renegotiate. We will probably have to renegotiate again, when we're moved to a new system. They have their own credit card provider, so we'll be able to then renegotiate again then also.
Okay,
So,
thanks.
Roll call.
A resolution for the city of Meadville, Crawford County, Pennsylvania, levying the following taxes and fixing the rates of taxation for the city of Meadville for the year 2026, being a tax for general revenue purposes, a tax to pay interest and principal on any indebtedness incurred pursuant to the local government unit debt act, a tax for capital improvements, a tax for recreation and parks, and a tax for shade trees, all of which taxes are levied pursuant to the applicable authority in establishing the penalty charge for late payment of such taxes. McKnight?
Aye.
Myers?
Aye.
Roa?
Aye.
Vogel?
Aye.
Kinder?
Aye. Public comment on non-agenda item?
Yes. I have Mr. Andrew Herbstritt.
Hello, council. Andrew Herbstritt, 462 Harts Avenue. I just got a little thank you here. Jim and Gretchen, as this is your last council meeting, I just want to say thank you both for your incredible dedication to our community and your genuine commitment to serving this city. Having the unique experience of running against each of you, and through many conversations with both of you, I gained not only a deep appreciation for your leadership, but also two friendships that I truly value. Jim, I've always admired your attention to detail. You asked tough questions, especially on the budgets, and approached every discussion thoughtfully. Whether you agreed with the majority or not, you always acted with clear goals and a strong sense of responsibility. Gretchen, I've always appreciated your openness and your willingness to talk to anyone, no matter if they agreed or disagreed with you. You recognized the value in hearing every perspective and worked hard to understand the full picture so you can make the best decision possible. Meadville is stronger because of the care, time, and thought each of you have put into your role on City Council. We are grateful for your service, and I look forward to many more conversations in the future with both of you. I know both of you will continue to stay active and engaged in your community. Thank you so much.
I have Jason Ramsey.
I know, such really.
Luckily, I'm not going to be too repetitious, I hope, but my comments are in a similar vein to Andy's. So I typed something up really quickly. Just want to thank the outgoing council members, Jim and Gretchen, for their work for the city. You all know my son Eli. I first brought him to the council meeting when the city paved his mom's brick street without even telling residents ahead of time, something he was pretty worked up over, losing the brick street he had grown up with. I wanted to show him that city government isn't just the city, that the people who make it up are his neighbors and frankly can be his friends. I appreciate how Jim and Gretchen have treated us both that way, with respect and kindness. And in particular, I know making him feel included and that government isn't something done to him, but rather for him and eventually even by him. You all may not see those connections to others, but I wanted you both to know that you've impacted my kid's life in a positive way that he carries into adulthood. He's 18 already. Point still stands. Thank you both. Your work has made a difference to both of us.
Thank you.
That's great.
That is all.
All right, council member statements, Jim?
Thank you. Thank you for your kind comments. We have one more meeting, 5-minute meeting.
The 5 minute.
The 5 minutes.
That's where we get booted off, yeah.
That's where we get through. I'll probably have some comments then, but tonight is the third night of Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to our observant friends. Christmas is next week. Best wishes for a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I guess we'll see you Monday or Tuesday, January 5th?
Monday.
Monday
the 5th.
January 5th, yeah. So, good night, thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Gretchen?
Ditto for the holidays. I want to thank Marquette and Hunters for the great employee lunch today. That was really, really good. That was very generous and kind. Thank you so much, you guys, for the kudos, and it's really been an honor to serve with everybody here. I mean, I can honestly look you all in the eye and say, we did our best, and we tried the hardest that we possibly could to do our best work for the city. I am honestly just really proud of the city. I'm proud of staff. I'm proud of every single department. I'm proud of the ABCs. I feel like we've done some really good work over the last 4 years. I'm also proud that we faced some real challenges, and there's some problems that I honestly thought I could not see how we would get through them, and I just appreciate that how we all just kind of we worked and we did it. So thank you so much for that. We did have some dreams come true. I believe we have a happier city. We have vibrant parks and summer programming. We have a safer city and area, because with our police covering Vernon, our fire department's ambulance service, our rental registration program, a prettier, healthier city with our housing plans, ordinances, and systems against blight. The new I have to shout out to the beautification committee. The holiday lights, little things, the trash cans, the benches, more trees, right? And then the hope for solar panels. I also definitely feel like we are a more connected city. I think a lot of it is our leadership that we have. And just thank you all for being leaders. Thank you, Jamie, for being a leader that empowers people, the people around her. Because I definitely felt some empowerment, hey, I could go do that. I could go help out with some ABCs. So thank you for that. And also the local organizations that have stepped up and really helped, and even the other municipalities, and of course the people in our community that really have helped speak to us and guide us in terms of what they want to see. I think we have a flowier city, and I like that word, because thanks to Peter and our active transportation plan, just little things like reducing speed limits. And also, I've just learned a lot from everybody. I cannot believe how much I've learned. And again, it just makes me feel really honored to be in the presence of your brilliance and your kindness and your heart. Again, your brilliance, because there's some brilliant people here in the room. And this is like a moment when I can just kind of take it in and look at you all in the eye and say thank you. If I were to try to inspire anything for future council, it was just stay in your path, keep serving people, and just keep celebrating Meadville. So thank you so much. You guys, thank you.
Thank you, Gretchen. Larry?
Yeah, first of all, Jim, Gretchen, it was great working with you. You've both been very helpful. Even when I was sick, I knew I'd get a text or something, I would get a call. I could always rely on Jim. I think sometimes I'd get on his nerves, whispering to him and having him explain more in detail. You both will be greatly missed. And I appreciate the work, time, and effort that you put into it. It shows your love and commitment for Meadville. And it's kept me inspired too. For the staff, you guys have been doing an awesome job. And I'm very proud. Like you said, I'm very proud of everyone on staff, the volunteers that we have. You guys have brought this city together. I was born and raised here, and I know how it was them against us, it seemed like. And you've taken that away. You let the people know that our city government cares about you, regardless of what part of town you're from. They haven't gone out the way to treat anybody any different, and they made it more inclusive. So I am proud and happy to work with you guys. I've learned a lot from both of you, and I appreciate what you both have brought to the table. You're gonna be missed. So, but I just want to say thank you, and I really appreciate you both.
Thank you, Larry. Well, yeah, I'll just echo a lot of what's been said. Thanks for folks for coming, and I don't know that we've had a lot of people like publicly thank our electeds, like public servants who like do give a lot of time. In particular, I think these two. Yeah, Jim, I have learned a lot from you, and we don't always see things the same way. But I've told many people this, and I will tell it to you now, and I'll put it in writing if you want. But like, I do very much respect you, and I respect that you are consistent and you know what your values are, and you kind of always come from that same kind of consistent place with your values, and I do sometimes think our values overlap, and like it's a neat opportunity when that happens, and I think yeah, I've learned a lot from the attention to detail that you pay, and yeah, just the amount of time and energy that you give to the city, and yeah, I think it is better for it. Gretchen, man, sometimes I am sad that we use words, because I feel like you could communicate so much, like you could control this whole city if we like just used movement.
Yeah.
Like, we'd all be in your, but like, no, I mean, yeah, you're such a bridge builder, and like, and I've seen that really blossom. Like, you've taken your role of a liaison in such a serious way to like really connect. You know, I've watched city authorities that all kind of felt maybe disparate, or they were kind of like doing their things right out on the margins, and it feels like a lot more is happening in concert and lockstep, and that's in a lot of that's due to like staff is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, and I think you've been a big part of that too, of like really taking that connector role seriously, and seeing what's possible, but being willing to talk to people, and also just being like charming and kind and listening, and I think that yeah, I've learned a lot from you two, and I'm grateful to have served with both of you, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Otto. I'm going to say the same things, right? I just really appreciate both of you. It's a really small world, and Meadville's even smaller, right? Turns out Jim and I have known people for our whole lives that we've loved and cared about, right? And again, we don't have to see eye to eye to know that we are human, and we share the value of moving Meadville forward and loving this place in a real way, and leading with integrity. So I just truly appreciate the time I've gotten with you, Jim. And the arguments we've had, right? Like the battles we've had have been good and respectful and kind, right? Like that's what leadership is, and that's what being a neighbor is, and I appreciate every second of it. And Gretchen, truly, and I may cry a little bit, but she has proven that kindness and love is so extremely powerful, and led every single day with that, whether she is seen eye to eye with somebody or not. And the love that she has shown for the city and myself has made me feel better, and has made me better as a person every single day. And I love you. I love you, and I'm so happy that you are here with me to share this life with me. That is that is just the truth, right? And I think that everybody knows that if you're willing to run and you're willing to do the hard thing, you have to love this place, right? We have to love this place to move it forward. You have to be a little bit selfless, or a whole hell of a lot selfless, to take all of the time that we take to run a city, and you have to have really great freaking staff, man. And people who really love the place too, right? You guys work so hard, and it is so very clear, I think, to everybody that lives in this city. So I am happy that this is the time and this is the place that I get to spend my life, and these are the people that I get to share this life with. Regardless if they feel that same way about me, I'm very lucky and very blessed. And with that, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call.
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers.
Aye.
Rolla.
No.
Just
Vogel.
rolls right up.
Kinder.
Aye.
Oh, that was brilliant.